Yeah, welcome back, everyone. I'm Beast and he's Bake. And this is episode 4 of the Beast and Bake Derby Talk podcast. How you going, Nate?
Yeah, good.
Still licking some wounds after the weekend?
Oh, this old freaking cold and flu. Oh.
Yeah, it's burning through my household too. Don't worry about that.
Oh, it's terrible.
So just to get us started in this podcast, we're going to have Carl Thomas from up Queensland coming on to have a chat with us about some Queensland derbies, some of his derby career, as well as the upcoming derby at Lowood on Saturday night, which is exciting. We've also got Chris Fisher on. He's going to talk to us about Lake Liddell that was on this weekend with the little cars. Him and Nath went down there and tore it up. So that'll be interesting. They've got a few in-car camera footages and some little nice hints and tricks that we can watch whilst they're out there doing their thing. So I'll be interested to see that and see how their actual tactics were going, making sure they got no hidden microphones in their car so they can talk to each other.
Yeah, I just realised it's probably the wrong time to do it. We got a Queenslander on.
That is true. He'll be watching.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll start off with Demolition Derby Association chat. Nate, you want to give us an update, mate?
Yeah, so we had another meeting on Friday night. Fingers crossed, should get a phone call from the bank tomorrow. So that'll be officially open. And then before the next podcast, we should have memberships and sponsorship opportunities open. And then we can talk all about it on the next podcast. So
so we're thinking on the next podcast, what we're going to do is have the actual prices and stuff come up on the page. Will come up on the podcast so we can talk about pricing packages, sponsorship packages, and basically just give a bit of a breakdown, show some of the merchandise you're getting. We've got some artwork concepts and stuff like that we're going to be doing. Some of the samples will be coming down in the next few weeks as well, so we can show them off on the podcast. Just basically keep you guys informed the whole way through the process and hopefully get you guys on board for membership and some sponsorship as well. Whilst we're on sponsorship, if anyone is interested in sponsoring the podcast, we've got areas all around us that we're going to be selling in the future. I think what's the deal? You get a certain cost for 3 episodes. So it's on a 3-episode contract basis. So if you are interested in that, flick us an email or comment on this and we'll get in contact with you. But this is definitely getting some decent exposure. I don't know if you've seen the last few ones, but we're basically getting about 2,000 views on each podcast, which is fantastic.
And that's coming within 24 to 48 hours too. So it's not like a big delayed process either. It really goes up them numbers real quick too. So it's good exposure real quick.
And I imagine that's going to start growing with the more exposure we get once we start getting into memberships and we start penetrating the Queensland border and the Victorian border and obviously South Australia. It's going to go everywhere, especially with the introduction of the state titles and those massive kind of derbies that are run by the association. It's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, that's right.
So without further ado, I reckon we bring on some of the boys. So we're going to bring on Chris Fisher here. So let's get Chris on there. Make sure he's not pulling a face. There he is. How you going, Chris?
Good. How are you fellas?
Good, mate. How you feeling after the weekend?
Oh, mate, I feel magic.
Magic.
Yeah.
I heard you love the ground up there. Nath hasn't stopped talking about it.
Oh, it was awesome. Honestly, the best track. Most fun I've had in a long time in a derby car.
Yeah, those little cars, they can get zipping. I watched that derby there, and there was definitely some awesome stacks in it.
Oh yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, it was. It looked soft, but when you got out there was hardly any soft patches. It was all freaking grippy. You could just move.
Yeah, as soon as you put your foot down, you're gone.
Well, we're going to be expecting big things on the podcast when it comes to the in-car footage. So hopefully you boys got into it.
Yeah, heaps excited.
All right, we're going to bring on Carl now. Carl's coming to us live from Queensland, but he's wearing a New South Wales jersey. So that's I think he's worked out after the State of Origin that we're building for game 2 to give him a whooping, so he's going to start changing teams now.
You could be onto something. Nah, just trying to be less intimidating.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so we'll kick off pretty quickly. So, Carl, how long have you been in derbies for?
It's been a few years. So my very first one was 2003.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, a little while.
21 years. How old are you?
Cracking 40 this year.
Okay, so you would have done your first derby at 19. Can you still remember that derby?
Certainly can.
Yeah. Can you tell me what happened? Where was it? What got you into it?
So the initial drive to want to do it in the first place was living in Beaudesert, going to the Beaudesert show, seeing the derby cars, and it was just a constant attraction to want to do it. So then once I had my license and I was able, I wrangled a deal with a mate who had a built HQ sedan, which I swapped him a Ford Escort for. And, yeah, it was already built, like I said, so I just into it. So, yeah.
A lot of people will cry at that story.
I was just thinking that when you were saying some of those cars, I was like, oh, what you wouldn't give to get those cars back now.
Played at my heart.
Nah, the sedans aren't really worth it.
The HQs?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, mate, I don't know about up in Queensland, but down this way, they're still worth a fortune.
They're worth a fortune, but as a derby car, they're not like got the same appeal.
Oh, no, they're throwaway derby cars. The whole front ends fall off on them.
No, it's actually better than the back end.
Really? I've always thought that the HQs, because of the bolt-off front end, I thought that'd be useless.
Yeah, but if you can stand the front up good enough, you've got those big rails.
Well, that is true. So you've been doing it for 21 years. What makes you still continue to go out there and do it?
People telling me I can't and I shouldn't. So, in short, had a reasonable accident and end up in the care flight chopper. So that was 31st of October 2016. So I was out for a little bit after that. No, it wasn't a derby. No, it was just I was out the paddock, not surprisingly doing anything silly at the time, which is usually when the bad stuff happens to me. But anyway, so end up in the care flight chopper, broke pelvis, ribs, vertebrae in the back, all manner of stuff.
So how long did that put you out of the sport for?
Well, for quite a long time, I couldn't be told by any doctor whether I'd be cleared to do derbies or just manual labour even. So I opted to pull the pin for quite a while there until I actually came across a better GP and he said, no, you've mended as good as you're going to mend. You're not going to do yourself anything detrimental by doing what you're doing. So
that would have been a good thing to hear. I can't imagine being told I can't derby anymore. So it's
well, from a doctor, I'll cop it, but I won't cop it from other derby drivers.
Yep, fair. So we've had a bit of an idea about your tactics after the State of Origin, but can you describe what you actually go out there to do every derby?
Well, my idea of a winning night is the crowd winning, not necessarily me. So if I can do something that's within the scope of what we do and puts on a bit of a show for the crowd and gets them involved in it, I'll be in that every day. Whether it's a 2-second derby or 10-minute derby.
That's a good attitude to have too, especially towards this sport. Really good attitude to have.
Yeah. So now that we've actually had our first State of Origin, can you tell me how you managed to get picked on the team?
Well, I think Kenny, he's sort of derbied against me in the past at Lowood, and he actually almost ploughed over the commentator that particular night because, well, firstly, the commentator was a bit too close to the ring, and secondly, he'd heard about me sort of doing my one-hit kill type things. So he was like a chihuahua and like a Doberman chasing it. So yeah, he just legged it out there. So he's like,
we all saw that ute that you had at Bow Desert. That was pretty impressive. Is that the whole putting on the hits on for the crowd where it snaps the ute in half?
Yeah. That, and there was a certain said person in that derby who told me that I shouldn't be derbying because he didn't want to hurt me. So I'm like, okay, let's put it to the test.
Oh, fair enough. Whatever motivates you, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. It's good when you get motivation from someone else.
What would you, outside of your health side of it, what would you class as the biggest challenge to you as a derby driver?
Nowadays, as most of you guys would appreciate, just having a young family. Just getting the time to build cars and spend with the cars and somehow crossing that over with children. Like this, well, with all this going ahead, I can't see Derby and getting squashed anytime soon, which is a good thing. So I sort of want them safe, but I also want to somewhat include them as well.
So I don't know if you know this or not, but me and Nathan have been talking about, have you ever seen the Power Wheels Demolition Derbies over in America where they have the kids on the little cars?
I can't say I have. I've seen the lawnmower and a few other bits and pieces in the combines, but I haven't actually seen the pedal cars.
I'm definitely going to have to put that on the comments section for people to see. But basically they have kids from, I think it's 6 or 7 up to about 12. And they have them on like these electric car things, and they have like a little bit of a derby with the kids out there. And it's something amazing. And if I could work out how to get that to happen at a local show, whether it means the ADDA is the one that pays for the cars and they just rent them out or something like that, I'm not quite sure at the moment, but that's definitely a goal I'd like to have, because at the end of the day, all 4 of us have a young family, and this is a great way to get the kids involved, and I guarantee you they'll never forget it.
No,
Not only that too, like it can turn into a big day when you got your kids at the show and you got to be there 5 hours before a derby and stuff like that. So it could have, kids get bored real quick. Nowadays, it's, unless you have $1,000 to spend at the show, you're not really doing much.
Yeah, and after paying for cars these days, you don't have $1,000. So on that, Carl, what are your thoughts on the new association?
I think it's a great addition. Sorry?
I said positive or negative. We're happy for all the feedback.
No, I'm for it. Like, I think it's a very positive move, because for a long time up here, we've had people that like to float in the, partial cheating realm of things, more so, just wanting to win at all costs. So for me, looking at this going forward, if there's one set of rules for every single demolition derby Australia-wide, there's no, they let me here but not there. It's just, this is how it is.
Yeah.
And is that the biggest thing you'd want to see out of the association, getting the concrete rules everywhere?
Well, not so much that, but that's a different turning point for me, is to have that. And also, in the past, what I've seen of yourself and the other boys, the no nonsense that, if you're going to be a fool, then you're going to be called out on it.
Yeah.
That's fair. So on that, what would your advice be to newer drivers and even current drivers in relation to attitudes and stuff like that?
Just remember that if the crowd doesn't win, there's no us.
Yeah, that's right.
So if we're crowding on like Wally's out on the field and making us look like idiots, the show societies or whatever it is going to say, no, we don't want that type of stuff here, thanks.
Yeah, being silly on the field, we all got to go back to work Monday. So there's no point.
100%. And that's the main thing. And like I was talking about in episode 3, with the state titles and stuff like that, with association, with show committees coming to us, even though we can't say which one yet, with them coming to us, offering us massive money to run a huge event in Queensland, I've had a lot of people saying the Queensland derbies are starting to fade away. And with events like this, I have no doubt that the association is going to bring the biggest events in Queensland, and that'll restart the derbies up that way, I think. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on it anyway. So speaking as a competitor for Saturday night at Lowood, mate, what are you bringing?
The same car that went to Origin, mate.
Those Queensland boys, you get 20 runs out of those cars, don't you?
No, it just hasn't done much. So at Origin, unfortunately, as you guys may or may not have seen, I didn't get to do much at all. So broke an axle early, and then got sort of stuck in that corner, and that was pretty much my night done.
Now, were you the one that head-on Nath straight off the start?
Don't believe so, no.
No. You were like right next to him for the majority of that derby, whether he was copping a flogging or not. But your van was like right there, so I wasn't sure whether it was you that was pumping him before he went down in a blaze of glory or not.
Yeah, no, I think I was just guilty by association at that point. But yeah, I did end up attacking Matt Moore a little bit whilst he was around there, and he asked me after the derby that someone kept hitting him out over the line. I said, "Yeah, that was me. Sorry, mate." But yeah, and he's like, "But I was on the line." I said, "Yeah." So what you were doing wasn't wrong. I said, and I knew that you couldn't get away from me, so I was just pumping you back out of the line each time.
I'll give you the heads up. He's aware of that, and he's coming back for game 2.
That's all right.
What were your thoughts on State of Origin?
Well, that's actually the first time for me on a speedway track, and there is definitely a lot that I do differently now looking back on it. Just for me in driving style more so than anything else. But yeah, it's just something else to roll with as far as change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was a lot of different driving styles for Origin too, which all clashed. Sometimes it clashed amazing, and then sometimes it clashed and just people faded away quick. Like there was the speedway side of it. I think balked most of the drivers that hadn't done it before, so people were getting caught out in the open like myself, which will definitely change for the next one. I think with the experience that we've got, we'll put on a better show for the next one, even though that was still one of the best shows I've seen.
I think just on that note, that particular night, the Demolition Derby was seen as like by the way, we've got this bonus for you to watch. We weren't sort of the main feature. Whereas I think second time round, there's going to be a lot more emphasis on, hey, we've got a Demolition Derby.
That's right. And obviously once New South Wales whoops Queensland, and we go into a decider, it's going to be even better.
Talk is cheap.
So, whilst we're having a chat anyway about the Lowood one, I think we might just put that first video to be reviewed, which is, I'm not sure if you were in this one, Carl, but it's Lowood Derby 2022. Were you there?
No.
No? So just wanted to give us a bit of a preview for this weekend's Derby, which I think is going to be interesting. I'm taking the 380 up there to see how it goes. I'm going to have the GoPro for the first time in probably a decade. So hopefully I'll be able to put some decent shots on.
The Demolition Derby about to start here this evening. Are we ready, Lowood?
You recognise any of these drivers, Carl?
Here we go. The lights are on.
Yeah, most of them.
One to hit. Oh, there
So the bloke in the panel van that kicked off at the start there, I believe he's a Ipswich local boy, Mick Shipley. We've had our little clashes over the years.
I think that's I know that ute with a green, I think that's a Queensland rep driver actually. I think it's Aaron.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because he ran a green ute, I think there, but he's also run a different ute in a black ute. So yeah, Aaron seems to go all right for what he does.
Yeah.
One thing I'm noticing there is that they don't have the X's on the door. Is that not a thing up there, or?
No, it was never a compliance thing to begin with.
Yeah, right.
it was just, no hitting of driver or passenger doors. And then latter edition, because Lowood started out, in order for them to have a demolition derby, they had to have a passenger, because it was said in the event of the driver getting knocked out, there was someone switch the car off.
Yeah.
That's a
But they
different
soon worked
interpretation.
out that all that does is put 2 people in harm's way, not one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many people got hit in the actual passenger door, because it's hard to avoid. It's hard not to avoid the driver's side door.
Yeah. It's something that if you start out with, it's probably not too bad, but like from you guys coming up here, it's probably, something completely foreign and new.
Yeah, I don't know how to go.
I've done one passenger derby before, and that's very close. It's very awkward because you constantly can't hit the side of the car. I think it's a radiator. I think there might be Corey in that pink ute, actually.
Yeah, if it's got Billy on it, that's usually his run tag.
Yeah, Corey Langton's the Queensland number 2, the vice captain.
Yep.
I think that's Reese Hack. Just done that massive hit with the pink panel van. He's I think Queensland number 10. He was in the last one. He's just railed himself in the driver's door then.
Yep.
Look at the old EL Falcon. I don't know if he's done a hit yet because they're pretty soft in the back, but he's having the ball.
Yeah, so that's a couple of the Ipswich boys. They usually run a lot softer cars, and they just go out and just scream it for a while and have a bit of fun.
Rip the burnouts out.
Pretty much, yeah. Sort of day in, day out stuff for Ipswich people.
Yeah. The panel vans in use just don't seem to bend up there.
There's a lot goes into the looking at old ones and working out where to build and where not to. So for me personally, it's not about strengthening, it's about letting it give, but in a controlled situation.
Is that why you guys put the cuts in the rear of it?
Yeah, it's one of the things that some of the guys do. Others, it doesn't really matter. It's probably, in relatable terms, a bit like your Camrys and Magnas. Like if you can get both corners locked in straight up and get the floor in the middle creased up, you've got a pretty good chance.
That's what we all.
There's definitely a skill to it. No matter what car you drive, there's a skill to actually how you drive that car, which is why I think that the little car derbies are so fun, because no one has a clue what they're doing.
And you could get written off by anyone.
That's true, yeah.
A bit like our mate in the VX Commodore from Boona.
Yeah, that thing was amazing. I was surprised it still went as well as it did. You remember if you had any Halley tires on the rear of that?
No, it was alloys all the way around, low profiles.
I think
It was quite an interesting dude. He rocked up in a mod.
He's what?
He rocked up in a Unimog, like his tow car.
Oh, wow. I think I'll race hack one this derby.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going on that track.
So this is the part that I miss most about our shows up here, or just derbies in general, is the crowd having the ability to walk out and inspect the cars and sort of be a bit more involved with it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like the boaters at show just run, their insurance was so strict on them that no one was allowed to enter the showground arena to look at the cars after the derby.
Yeah, and that takes a bit of the fun away from it. It's. I mean, I growing up, it's the same as Nath. I remembered him wandering around our cars all the time when he was a kid, and those memories build drivers. They build the new legends of the sport by having you walk around and seeing cars and growing up around that. You can't teach that experience.
Definitely.
Yeah, we still got a lot of shows down here where you can still walk onto the track after the show and that, so it's still good.
It hasn't it's not Australia wide, the insurance stuff, but it is a red flag for what could be in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to walk around for much longer.
No, and especially with the way insurances are, it's just becoming a massive pain. But we were actually looking back at just on last episode, we were looking back at the old school cars and the new school cars. I found this derby here, which I thought was poignant to show. Have a look at these old cars. This is Parramatta Raceway, which I think, I'm not sure if you went on there, Chris, but me and Nath have been on this one back in the day. And I can guarantee you that there was no cars like that in the derbies that we did.
Nah, Chris was there the same time I did it.
Oh, was he? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a.
But that's a
black
different
pack.
animal. That looks like a Queensland derby because that's all you guys run is things like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you got to sort of get out of bed early to get a lot of coin up and be in the right place at the right time to get a car like that nowadays.
What is that Valiant, Carl? Do you recognise that? No, not the Valiant, the panel van. Is it a Valiant panel van? When it goes
I'm
back
not
to it?
super familiar with that. I sort of, once I've found a car that's good, I just stick with it. So I figured that when I started out with the sedan in the HQ, that it was okay, but obviously there was nothing in the back end to keep it out. So I went to wagons after that for a bit. So I ran a HQ wagon for a while, then went across to a HJ wagon, but had a similar issue of just dropping tail shafts out of it.
Yeah, they're a bit soft compared to the old utes and stuff like that.
Well, that and the fact they're coil spring back end.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever happens with leaf spring, I think it's just a bit more forgiving on the driveline.
Every part of me would love to go on a derby against all these cars, though.
You can see that Kingswood wagon there. She's got the full exhaust under it still.
Yeah, they don't look like they're massively prepped. What is that van? If anyone recognises that van, comment in the section below so I actually know, because it's going to
The
annoy me
rest of the
otherwise.
panel work sort of looks a bit like an XY or something like that.
Could be. I've never seen an XY panel van.
Nor have I, but I'm just sort of looking at the rest of the car.
That's one of the most annoying things that happen in derbies when people do that.
Wow.
He's had enough. He's out.
He's just stepped out. And imagine how bad that would go if old mate just got run over.
Imagine if we did
Well,
that.
back
these
then
days.
it probably would have been it's his fault, whereas nowadays it'd be who's got the better lawyer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That looks like an absolute tank, that van. It is just tearing through. Oh, they're going to hit the sign here. I think they got look at the XB, and I think that's an XB. Some of these cars are just, that would be worth thousands of dollars now.
Yeah, and they were running them in a primo state, whereas now if you find something like that, it's going to be like Swiss cheese.
100%, yeah, it'd be rusted out.
Yeah.
And there's definitely no red door, white cross on these things.
Nah.
You used to have, I think it's Archerfield up that way, wouldn't it, in Brisbane?
Yeah, Speedway there.
Yeah, they had a lot of derbies with the old school ones back in the day. I think that's closed down now, isn't it?
I haven't heard much of it of late, so I'd assume that is a possibility. But yeah, there was a lot of the guys from Boaters that used to go up there. One of the local mechanic blokes, he could win a derby there, but he could never get his hometown victory.
Oh, rough.
Yeah, it rolled him right up, but he couldn't get it. But yeah, it was just wasn't anything he was necessarily doing wrong. It was just stuff didn't align for him.
I've always found that the derbies, when you really want to win, are always the hardest ones to win. If you're going out there and you think you're going to get pumped or you just don't care, they're the ones where you'll just snag a win somehow.
Yeah, well, it's a bit like that XFU that Boaters at Show last year. Like, my only goal was to go out there and test my body and test out a few other people's bodies while I was out there. And wasn't expecting much of the car at all, let alone to be in the last few cars running.
Yeah, and that ute definitely did well, especially when the back tail light was near your head.
Yeah. Made it difficult reversing into cars because the insurance thing for that night stipulated that there was to be no head-on hitting unless it was like, a car length or 2 car lengths or something or other, which is extremely hard to gauge when you're out there.
Yeah, there's a rule in New South Wales, but it's rarely actually enforced, which is 3 car lengths forward. You can't go any more than that.
I can tell you now, the front of that van is gone.
I don't think that thing's going to move getting after that. I think old Slimy Sid has snagged this one. Wherever he's gone.
Yeah, he's going to have his work cut out for him to beat some of those old Holdens because those earlier Holdens, like the HTKG type deal, they just deal with heat a lot better and they're a lot more forgiving in the body.
That would be what he's just hit there. I think it's a HZ, wouldn't it? Or HQ? With the
One
headlights?
of the two, yeah.
See what I mean about the bolted front ends, how they bend up like that?
They can do,
They're
but
very similar to the Valiants. Whereas you got the big old HGs there, and they're just an absolute monster.
I was sort of, when I first started out derbying, thinking that, you stay away from those cars because they'll put you in hospital. But after derbying, literally, I was gifted my first Falcon that I ever ran from a good mate of mine, Gus, and it, in all honesty, was miles better than anything else I'd ever run. Even though it was
I suppose you find
car.
the ones that you enjoy. Like, I mean, most of the Queensland will say 11 out of the 12 were all Falcons. So I'm assuming you guys have found those are the best ones to run, and that's why he's built them for Origin.
Yeah, pretty much. There's very little as far as things that go wrong with them, and what does go wrong, what it's going to be. So there's no surprise. It's this.
Snagged that win there. I'd probably do another 10 derbies in Queensland.
Probably more if it was built by a couple of local boys.
Yeah, I know Nath and Chris have been standing by, so we're going to discuss their favourite topic at the moment, Lake Liddell Speedbowl. Tell me what was the best part about it, Nath.
Definitely the small car derby. I love small car derbies. I suppose somewhere new as well. No one's ever been there. I guess that was probably small car derbies and just somewhere new.
What was the day like? How was it? How long did you have to wait there for, and the scrutineering and all that?
It was good. It's always a long day, but I suppose being the first derby there as well, they wanted us there a bit earlier to sort out parking and everything else, which is understandable. But it's not a bad day. There's good racing there, so it's pretty entertaining actually. It's not a bad little place just for the racing in general. Just quite a good little place.
And the promoter did say when I was chatting to him that they want to have more derbies there, 2 or 3 a year if they can.
Yeah, so I think that's the plan moving ahead. They want to try and keep derbies there if they can, and amongst some other things that were sort of in the talk, I suppose.
And do you reckon they'd be able to fit Magnas and stuff on there, or is it just little cars?
I don't think it'd be don't get me wrong, you could probably have a large car derby there, but we had, I think it was 12 or 13 little cars, and it was pretty perfect. So I'd probably just stay with a little car derby.
Limit it to that, you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, without ado, let's have a look at the first video of Lake Liddell. A few to get through.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, this audio is quite loud.
And off they go. They're underway.
Turn that sound off.
Yeah, it gets loud.
So, what took you so long to start, Nath?
That's me, baby. Last off the line.
Oh, Chris is doing all the work for Shake and Bake. You just broke your rear axle off the start then.
No, he just called me rear bump. Oh, him, Chris,
Yeah. Look, that first hit there, he's just bloody stuffed himself. That would have been a pain in the butt to drive.
Yeah, I hit him on a weird angle, Like he took off as soon as I was just about to make contact, and just made it hit on a weird angle. So
it would have been very difficult to control that for the rest of the Derby. Look at that back wheel already.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad actually. I don't know.
Who's the bloke in the yellow and blue car?
I think that's Jason Townsend. He's a Musselbrook local. We usually seen him at like Singleton Show and that when we're allowed to go there, and Musselbrook Show. He's got he usually turns up in his pedal vans and utes, so gave us a Canaan in them, and now that he's in our cars, would you give him a Canaan back?
I see that. He seems to be copping a flogging.
Yeah, well, when I first started off, I remember clear as day, like at Singleton, he smashed me. And I suppose I just wanted to get him back for that, really.
Goes around, comes around in this sport, doesn't it?
Yeah. That was my brother-in-law that just hit me.
A bit of domestic violence in this one.
He's actually really stepped it up, old D, so...
Yeah, Jason Townsend bloke is just going head on into the back of cars.
Yeah, he had enough.
Yeah, I think he was in a Mazda as well, so I'd say it's like one of the toughest cars that were out there. So, I think we're just all going for the tougher ones first.
Mm-hmm. I suppose everyone has their tactics in that. What was that green thing that's died in the middle of the...
That was their first timer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it was, but...
Look at Matt Moore. He's full of intention.
I actually spoke to him today, and he told me no one had lined up with him, so he was just hunting everyone down.
Matt Moore's always just flat out around the whole thing.
Yeah, he's always got an intention for badness is what he should have on his car. If he can actually catch someone, it's a bad day.
Oh, yeah.
Look, he's probably done one hit and he's already locked up. I hope to see his in-car soon. I'm sure he'll have it somewhere.
Yeah, he hasn't put it up yet.
So talk us through your strategy at this point. Both of you. Where he's at.
I think the strategy went out the window at this point. We're just having too much fun, really.
That's the main goal to do.
Mine was just stay alive and just hit as much as I can. I didn't want to stop derbying, Like, I was having heaps of fun.
And what's the idea behind the cones on the roof?
That's for the officials, so the officials know that you're running a standard tank.
Okay.
Just in terms of like bend wise and that, so they can justify on how far the car should bend before starts becoming a worry of running an original tank.
Oh, I think Matt's just lost his steering there, or his CV's a bit loose. He just got cracked.
He stops soon, I believe. I don't think he moves from there.
Can you see how the wheel's sticking above the guard there? I reckon he's popped that CV. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, you popped the CV. I helped him get it on the trailer. It was a bit of work.
That was a picture perfect shot. Whoever done that, he got him right on that angle as he was turning.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Dion.
Really? Well, good luck to you, Dion, for the next derby, mate. It was nice knowing you. Poor bugger. At least he could have said he was aiming for someone else. So sorry, mate. Didn't see you there.
A bit like you said yourself, Shane, though. Once green light, there's not too many friends out there.
Yeah, there's bugger all friends in derbies.
Here comes-
there's mates.
Here comes your rollover.
Yeah,
Whoop.
whoa! Old Shane Oliver. Yeah, he does not like little cars. He has got bad luck when it comes to rolling himself or getting rolled. Is this? I'm pretty sure this is 2 derbies in a row for little cars that he's got rolled.
I don't know.
Just
There's the
as a
video on
side
building
note,
my boot.
as a
When was
side
the
note,
last
imagine being out there with your father doing all the work, and then you look across and your dad's upside down crawling out of the car. Oh, it's a shame they didn't let him continue.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't let him keep going. Because
I think because it was upside down for too long.
Yeah.
Well, but then even after the derby, it wasn't even smoking or anything. He started up and he just drove off.
I suppose the oil would have all been at the top of the motor.
Yeah,
That's a good shot, Chris. Whoever you just hit the ends and having a bad time now.
That was his brother-in-law.
It's a bit like Origin, though, that if you can't get back onto your wheels and get going under your own steam, that deems you out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a safety thing too, because like we saw with Carl's car, when they go up, they go on fire pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't usually half do things.
No. That's a fairly decent track as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, you see the track from on like the entry road in there, and we're driving past it. Oh, that's a small track, but when you're actually down in there, it was perfect.
Well, that's the same with Origin. Remember, we were all saying, "Oh, it's going to be small track."
Yeah,
and then when you get down there, you go, "This is the huge track."
Yeah, we thought we were all going to be crammed in there, but
definitely didn't work out that way.
no,
I think it's the way speedways are though, because you've got that downward perspective.
Yeah,
it's good to see old Zach Kelly ripping in there, lasting a bit longer than he did for City vs Country.
Oh, the worst part was we've been giving him so much trouble about not derbying for 6 months or 12 months, and then he goes out there and wins his first derby back.
Well, it takes a bit to come back when you last 12 seconds in your first rep derby.
Yeah. I'm sure I heard him laugh.
He's drove well. Those little pulsars are awesome, though, eh?
Oh yeah, it just didn't want to die.
Yeah, they got a little motor and a big body around them.
I'm sure there was a few times when I was driving around, like you can hear him just giggling like a little schoolgirl. He was having so much fun.
I guarantee he would have been cracking up laughing when he just railed Nathan in the front then.
Oh yeah.
So who's in the? So you've got at the moment you got Nath going, Chris going, and
Dion.
Who is it?
Dion
Oliver.
Oh, Dion Oliver.
Yeah.
I think every single car there's got rear steer. Those little cars just bend those back axles.
Yeah.
So what was the thinking between Shake and Bake here? Where was the teamwork coming in?
I don't even think there was one, eh?
Yeah.
Did you even know he was still out there, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I knew he was out there. But I think we're just having too much fun. Like I don't know. It's just everything went out. The mind was blank. And yeah, we're just having fun.
That's the thing with those little car derbies that you can't take it seriously because everyone's just cramped up in these little buzz boxes, just smashing into each other. There's really minimal chance to take a car out with one hit in those little cars as well.
Yeah.
Because you get hit in the front, it does nothing. Geez, you shortened up that one, Nath.
I'll tell you what, she was struggling to move there.
So So what was going on in your mind here? What were you trying to do? You kind of like driving in circles. Chris has just took the opportunity to hit Matt when he's been out for 4 hours.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with me steering. I could not steer. It just wanted to hit Matt, I think. It's like I just couldn't control it.
You're just like, oh, I'm going to do it again, actually. His car's broken. It's my time.
You wait till you see the in-car footage.
He was probably smiling as he was coming in. So what's happening with your cars now?
Mine's dead.
Yeah, I think I put a hole in the motor.
That's not preferred.
Nah. There's a puddle of oil underneath me, and yeah.
That's a good shot. That's how you should finish derbies. Carl, if it comes down to me and you at Lowood, mate, prepare for the 380 because it's coming.
I can handle it.
Big bad head-ons at the end, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I'd have to say that's probably 90% of our derbies down here in the Hunter and like all that. When there's the last two cars, 90% of the time that's what they do. We just go head-on.
Just flat out head-on.
Yeah.
At least that way, so it creates a little bit more for the crowd.
I tell you
Yeah,
what,
that's
Zach's
right,
car
yeah.
is just not even slowing down.
It didn't the whole night.
I mean, by the looks of it, he's got Staffel steering, but just full stick back, full stick forward. What a little weapon those pulsars are. What was Dion in? Lancer?
Nah, I think it was a Pulsar as well.
Yeah.
He's also enjoying hitting the dead cars.
Yeah, that's all right. I love it. I was trying to get Zach to do another head-on, but he wouldn't.
Yeah, no, based off this, I reckon Lake Liddell's another top contender for a perfect speedway track.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be the first one to put my name down if they announce it.
Yeah, definitely.
Might be another good venue for a Sydney versus Country with the little cars.
Yeah.
I think that's the end of it there, guys.
Yeah, Zach pretty much just comes in for one more hit and it's over.
So what we had, Chris picked up third, did he?
Yeah, we've got third. Just.
So Zach got first, and then you got Dion in second, and Chris at third. Well, Congratulations, Zach. He definitely did a decent job with it.
Yeah.
Deserved it.
Yeah, and then
I don't know
Shane
how that Pulsar was
man.
going so well, though. Did he drive it back on the trailer after, or did it shit itself?
Nah, it shit itself.
Yeah.
We had to pull it up. But yeah, Shane Oliver got the Madman Award as well.
For rolling himself.
Yeah.
He, I don't know how he's done that, if he's gonna just come in on a weird angle.
He was chasing me.
He's chasing
you.
Nathan just flicked it, and yeah. Because it's such a small car, there's no weight of him.
I thought he might have like popped his front tire or something.
No,
Yeah,
he just spun it around when he was chasing me.
And just stuffed himself.
It's just here.
Oop.
No, too far.
I will admit, when I was watching it, I couldn't stop laughing because just you can see how light and little those cars are. I reckon if he had enough speed, he would have rolled straight back over. Oh, yeah, he's definitely hooked that a bit too hard. Just whoop. Well done to him for getting a mad dog. I mean, me and Shane, I think Shane probably started a couple of months after me. So we've been doing this for 15 years, so to be still doing mad dog shots and that's well done. I bet you his body was a bit sore when he's crawling out of that thing, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't spoken to him yet. But I know Zach's sore.
Yeah. Those little cars, I don't know about you guys, but I reckon they hurt worse than the big cars.
Yeah, you definitely feel them.
Well, let's have a look and see how Chris went. Now, I'll tell you now, if you sandbag this, we're all watching it. Whoops.
Oh, picking on the first timer.
I was going to say that's a bit rough, mate.
So you'll see him take off. It's just
that's when you stuffed your wheel.
Yeah.
So what's your plan at this point?
I don't know.
A bit of shake and bake action.
Yeah. No, I didn't really have a plan. It was pretty much just go out and have some fun.
There's a good little trick there for any first timers that are watching. You can see that Chris has put some seatbelt on the actual boot lid. It's stopping it from.
You know how long it's taken to get this technique?
I think we all copied it from Andy Jag back in the day with the Magners.
Oh, I got it from the father-in-law. He taught me it all.
Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, he learned it from Andy. I remember back in the day when Shane would do a few hits and couldn't see, so he went forward because he's a bit of a shorter bloke. So he'd just go head on like probably 3 minutes into a derby. That's why he only used to run the wagons because he couldn't see. Ooh.
So with that, do you guys find that the seatbelt actually hangs in there, that it doesn't get cut easily, or?
Oh, no, you never cut it.
Yeah,
it tears through the metal before it cuts it.
Yeah, if anything, I've always found that the harder you hit, the more tight it gets on the steel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas if you put chain,
pretty much now we run seatbelt on pretty much from driver's door back now. Chains on the bonnet, seatbelt everywhere else.
Well, you can see on Chris's
you
can see on Chris's B pillar there. He's got some seatbelt and duct tape at the lower part of the frame and at the top part to try and stop the door from pushing in. It holds the frame together and makes it one structure rather than just having those pivot points in there. That track does look quite solid whilst I'm looking out here.
Oh, that's good.
You guys probably wouldn't like our fix for that up here. We generally just cob and co it if we're going to do something like that with the pillars.
You what?
Cob and co. It's an old technique for wiring rails in yards and that type of thing.
No, yeah, I've seen that. They do it a lot out west, out like parks and Narromine and stuff.
Yep. In a lot of cases, it'll actually hold a lot more than chains or bonnet pins.
The old back of your car. What were you running, Chris?
What do you mean?
What car?
I was a 2006 Lancer.
No. Seemed to be folding all right in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, it took a bit of panel beating, but it folded perfect. Exactly how I wanted it, so.
Oh, you pulled out of that shot. Who's that person?
That's the father-in-law, mate.
He didn't want to hear the missus going off at him.
Oh, no.
So there's still a bit of healthy friendships out there where you don't hit your father-in-law?
Yeah. Yeah, I would not have stopped hearing about it, eh?
You're just lucky he rolled himself then.
Oh, more so the missus. She'd be like, "You hit me, old boy." But
Now,
no,
of note for
I hit him like
Chris,
2 or
he's
3
currently at the
times.
back of the house, away from the missus, because she can't hear this.
Yeah, I think next podcast will have to go down the shed. Just to
When she
make
watches
sure.
this, I imagine right about now, Tennille's staring you in the face whilst you're still trying to watch the podcast and act like you're not looking at her. Hello, Tennille. You see how the seatbelt's trying to hold that frame? It's actually separated on the boot lid. If you didn't do that, just for anyone watching, he wouldn't be able to see a thing right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wish I put one in the center of the bottom of the boot to close that gap up in the where it's separated.
Yeah,
I actually thought you may have done that for when it comes right in.
Yeah, so you can still see a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you can do it, but like I've found a lot of the time the sheet metal just tears regardless in that center part. Oh, tell you what, if you still had a chassis rail, that would have definitely done some more damage. That was square shot on the CV.
I think, to be fair, Matt Moore was the only one that done a CV that night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's unlucky.
Yeah.
In saying that, a lot
Even
of the Corollas and stuff like that, the CVs in them are bulletproof.
Yeah, well, I don't know, like even Zach Kelly's Pulsar, like I hit it probably 3 or 4 times in the CV and it done absolutely nothing.
No, he's back.
Yeah, the GoPro cut short on his.
Oh, well, now you've got a big box to fill there, Nate. I hope you did well. Listen to those little motors.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Nath, I know you've got a plan, mate. Talk me through what you're doing.
Just trying to pick me first shot.
So you were just bagging
yeah,
at Chris,
newbie.
the first thing you did.
Hey?
He come
First
for me. I didn't even move. He come straight for me.
You notice he didn't bring that up on the first one when he was bagging you out. Like, oh, you've done this. The first thing he does, go back to back with the poor bugger.
I didn't chase him. He come after me, so fair.
So I'm assuming you've done the same thing with the seat belts on the boot lid?
Yeah. I didn't want to, but Chris made me.
You definitely wouldn't have been able to see after that first hit.
Yeah, I turned up there on, Sunday morning. And he wasn't going to do it. I was like, nah, do it. Luckily you did.
Yeah, you can see on that passenger side that if he didn't, that's pretty much all he'd be able to see.
Yeah. But something that's going to take 10 minutes and save you a hell of a lot that night.
Yeah, it's all about strategy too. If you can't see behind you, well, you've just lost your best weapon.
Yeah.
I can tell you now that wasn't my biggest problem this night. You'll see it in a minute.
Got railed.
Nah. It's a little bit worse than that. Old Zach Kelly hunting me down there.
Oh, Paddy.
Yeah, I'll let him have that one. And this is where it all went to shit. Right here.
Oh, shit. That's what we call some mechanical difficulties there, some structural issues.
Big
The
time.
seat snapped.
Pillar bar snapped, seat snapped. And I was like, oh, shit, I better test it. And I was like, oh, there's a bit of movement when I go back to back there.
Well, this is Demolition Derby, guys. Unfortunately, sometimes this shit happens.
It does.
That's why I was like, my own advice was the 10-minute shortcut you make will be the one mistake that share good derby and come back to bite me in the ass, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we've all made those errors. It doesn't matter when you've been doing it for 2 minutes or 10 years. Sometimes.
Any of you boys ever snapped a seatbelt?
I've forgotten to have one in the car before. I literally was driving out and realised I haven't got a seatbelt actually in the car at all.
Oh, wow.
So I did the entire derby without the seatbelt.
Yeah, they're still
That
fun.
would have been rough.
It was rough. It was a little car one too, so I was bouncing around.
Yeah, it's quite a while up this end. They wouldn't allow you the barrel on your seat belt, so that way, there's no way of it coming loose. So yeah, one of my seat belts about 2 minutes into a derby, snapped it clean, sort of just up near the shoulder. And it wasn't that it was a crap seat belt. I probably just got a little bit too excited. So yeah, went the rest of the derby with that one.
Yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of the harnesses at State of Origin either. It didn't feel like I was actually wearing a seatbelt 9 times out of 10.
I don't know about you guys. The drama I had with mine was actually keeping it on the shoulder.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It just kept flying off.
Yeah, I'd actually considered even crisscrossing it behind me, but I just didn't know whether to do it in the seat.
It was hard with that and the neck brace to actually look backwards.
Neck brace I'm used to running all the time anyway, so that one's sort of not really new to me. I tend to sit a bit sideways in the seat anyhow, just because I find it more comfortable.
Yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of the neck brace. Nah, that's where Shane Oliver rolled.
Oh, were you just clapping him?
Yeah.
He's probably there going, what's happened to your bar, mate? Oh, I bucked my seat.
Yeah.
At least not like old mate over in America.
Yeah, at least he didn't have a video of him flying into the back seat.
Yeah.
I don't know if you boys have seen that one or not, but it's like 2 vans going back to back, and then the 2 blokes in this thing just fall over the seat.
Oh, yeah.
So was your plan to go forward because you couldn't go backwards because without the bar?
Oh, every time I went backwards, it just tried to shoot me into the back seat. And I was like, oh, stuff it. So I'm just going to start going head on. It's been a while since I've just gone stuff it and just gone head on. So I thought, oh, I may as well have some fun.
Well, you've had a pretty big last few years of derbies, captain of the city team, and then going to Origin. Like, you've been building towards that. It's good to have a fun unleashing derby after the last few big pressure derbies.
Oh, it was heaps fun just to get out there.
Did you just brace then, Nathan?
When
you did the head on and you seen the flag coming beside you, did you brace yourself?
Let's have a look.
There.
No. You'll see if we play the
let's...
shake and bake video why. Ready? I look for you. This is after the stoppage.
Yeah. Was that on Zach?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a bit of
Tell you
shake
what,
and
you
bake
get
tactics
whiplash with
there.
how quickly you'll turn your head around.
Got to have eyes in the back of your head in this sport.
Well, you would have had a unique perspective on it with laying down after every shot.
Oh, yeah.
Taking a nap.
Like the whole American gangster thing, just laid right back in the seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have done it with the one hand just like this. So I'm assuming you just cooked yours by the end of it.
I don't know what happened to it. It just died. As soon as me and Dion went head on, it just died. And it was turning over fine, just wouldn't start. And then after the Derby, come back to it about 10 minutes later and it started.
Yeah, she cooked. Let's say. She seems like it was folding quite, like structurally, it was pretty solid.
Oh, it was folding so good. Wouldn't go into gear there. I saw Zach coming at me and it just would not go into reverse.
Unfortunately, sometimes you just got to take those shots and hope that your car starts
That's why I was
after.
just sitting there like, move, you bitch. And it just would not move.
I love that your bar work's got cushion all the way to the passenger side. You were just expecting to get that far across.
Yeah, that's what it's there for.
See the head on the swivel. That's the way to do it when you're getting down to the last few cars.
Oh, it was such a pain in the ass. Zach was just moving around too quick.
Yeah, I don't think anything slowed that pulsar down. Like it
Well, that was
looked the same
the
at the
big
start
problem
as
at
it did
the end. Like you try and put a shot on Dion, or like vice versa. You try and put a shot on Zach, you got to keep an eye on where Dion is. But like, if you were going to hit Dion, you had to keep an eye on where Zach was, because if he was anywhere close to you, you weren't going to move out of the way quick enough for it. Like just there, like I just could not get out of the way quick enough because he was just moving through.
It honestly looks like there's about 10 cars hitting you.
It was, yeah. He was so quick the whole night. Everyone else started slowing down except him.
Yeah, I think he had the right idea at the end, doing the head-ons and driving through them and just keep going and just doing the big loop and come back around.
Do you know if he was in a
Plus, it
manual
gives
or
the
auto?
engineer time to cool.
Yeah.
Getting
He
that
was in
breeze into
manual.
it. Yeah. He would have been able to pick up some pace in that thing then.
Yeah.
And that's where I die.
Yeah, for someone that hasn't driven for a while, he done really well.
So what's this shake and bake one, Nath? You want to talk us through this?
Oh, hang on. That was my fault. Get back to the start there. So this is just watching the hits.
Boom.
And then we sort of just seen this anyway, but probably should have played this first. But then just my in-car, then Chris's in-car. But it just shows, the way we watch each other, I suppose, as well, in certain
That bloke had a
aspects.
bad start.
Yeah. So like this shot here too, like Chris watches me go over there and he comes for the shot as well. Obviously it gets taken away from him, but so this is my shot. And then when you watch Chris's in-car shot, he watches me go and you can see him watching me the whole time. And he comes for the shot. Obviously it gets taken away from him.
Gets blocked, yeah.
Yeah. And then this shot's the same. So I come in, that's where I
Ooh.
snap my pillar bar. And then
Worth
Chris
it.
comes in here. It was good when I was watching them because, like, when I put this video together, it really does show the way we work.
Oh, Christ. That snap seat sucks.
Yeah, so like you watch him, he watches in front, makes sure there's no one coming, and then watches.
And that's a like, no matter how good of a driver you are, that 1-2 combination will stop 9 times out of 10 your car.
So this is where you were talking about me bracing. Out of the way, let Chris hit.
Yeah.
So this is where I check for you. And there he is.
It's pretty good seeing that 1-2 combo so many times in the one derby, though.
Yeah, when I was putting this video together, it surprised me a bit. At just watching how many different combinations there are.
Was it something you were intentionally doing, or was it just kept happening?
Oh, we can't talk too much. There's a Queenslander on here.
I understand what you're saying. I do it a bit with one of my mates up here, Brendan Burgess, quite a bit. So the good part about that is whether you're the guy leading in or following in, it means that you don't really have to watch your front end because they can pluck off whoever's coming for you as well.
That's true, yeah.
So that way, like, even if you are getting blindsided by somebody you can't even see it's got you lined up, the other car can generally do something to help you out.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of, like, or to have someone that's out there that you can sort of know what they're going to do it's a different animal, because you've got someone that can protect your front end so you can really unleash on your shots.
Yeah.
Just as speaking on little car derbies, this was when I went up to Newcastle with the boys, and me and Matt Moore had a bit of a battle. I just think it's a cool little thing. I'm not sure who that was. But just watch this Lancer fold. Just boom.
I'm almost certain Matt Moore was out to absolutely murder you that day. It did not matter where.
I can guarantee you that after that shot there, I thought I had it over him. That's why I did the full track shot up here, because I saw how quickly his car built. I didn't realize, like, I literally just punched in the tailgate, but the chassis of it didn't twist until this hit. And mine was straight, so I thought I'd have him, but then just like, yeah. And then I was just literally, I had all the fight in the world in me, because I had about freaking 6 or 7 of yous on me. So I was like, yeah, I'll give it to yous. But after this hit here, it was like there was blood in the water and there were sharks surrounding me. I think I got hit like 50 times after that. Literally I don't think my back end bent any further than that. I wish I had a photo of the side of it, but the entire side and front of the car just got pole-axed. I ended up getting pushed into the sand. I think someone pushed me into the sand, and all I could hope for is that people were going to get bogged on the way in. So that was a fun derby. I enjoy those ones where you got the whole crowd sort of going after you, and I still managed to put on a decent whack there. You know who that one is, Nate?
I believe he was a first timer.
I'm not sure why I didn't go after his. Should have went after that front wheel. I don't know why I turned off.
I think he's done a couple. I forget his name.
Did he win it? Oh no, you won it.
Nah.
I won that one, but yeah, he comes second.
Who won that one? Oh, it was me. Never mind. Just want to put that out there for the podcast. Just for anyone just for anyone, all the newbies and that are watching, if you see this bit here, I hadn't hit with my driver's side chassis. I hit with the passenger side chassis just before the impact with Matt here. I've turned slightly to try and hit that side. So you can see they've lined up, because what the idea was is I was trying to punch. You can see I've been aiming off his passenger side, and I was trying to lock him up. I didn't realize how soft the Lancers were, but on impact, I was pretty much dead in the water. But it's a good thing to do if you know there's going to be a big impact, to just jam your chassis clean in there, just get the strongest side, and just lock it up. But obviously Lancers are crap.
So is it just ran out of seatbelt or whatever that you've got one side done, not the other?
No. So what it was is that the passenger side is always the impact side, and I thought that the way the chassis was starting to bend, that I could get that side to fold and then still have a straight side, so I wouldn't lock up. But what ended up happening, because these things have got the solid floor rear, is that the chassis was connected in the middle. So when one side went, both sides just folded. Those Lancers are trash. But speaking on little cars, just as our final video, the Demolition Derby Association is in negotiation at the moment for Newcastle Show. And what we're trying to bring there is the next City versus Country, which will be round 4, I believe. At the moment, Country's 1-1 and City's 1-2. So just we're looking at bringing it in as a little car derby this time. So having all the compacts out there, no one's going to be an expert in the cars. So we'll bring some from the city and some from the country and just unleash again. I definitely like the idea of having that start with the little cars, one side to the other. I think it'd be very interesting.
You'll knock half of the field out again.
That's the plan. Yeah, so this is a video that was made from back in the day. It was 2023. Me and Nathan and a few of the boys got interviewed in that by Ready Aim Media at the Newcastle Show prior to the Derby, and they made this little film, which I think is a good way to end this podcast.
We're here for City vs Country today, which is a 10 versus 10 Demolition Derby with some of the best drivers from the country and some of the best from the city. We're hoping to rip in today and show everyone why we are the best.
Let's start.
This is the third City vs Country. So there was the first 2, and City took both of them out. So I suppose it's they're here for a bit of vengeance. We've got a few wildcats, a couple of strategic drivers, and a couple of boys that just like to drive flat out into the closest thing we've got. So we've got a good mix.
Yeah, just the front-wheel drive V6s pretty much, Camry, Mitsubishi Magnus, 380, like anything that's got a big motor in the front with front-wheel drive, you just get more traction to the ground and you get a lot more speed and a lot faster. Therefore, you take out other cars easier.
They like to run hot, so without water, they're good. And
geez, he pumped that bloody Camry. It was completely gone by the end of that derby.
Car boy, mate, running this 2002 model Mitsubishi Magna wagon, sports model.
Would that have been Steve-O's last time?
To be honest with you guys, I haven't really done too much in the way of
I don't think he's done one since.
It's about as basic as you can build a car. You know, weld a few tags on the doors, put your pillar bar in. We've got some nice rally tyres there, all grooved up, ready to go.
I just like you,
this was definitely the start of the big representative derbies in the area.
Started changing, started bringing the front wheel drives in, and
having all those cars painted up and stuff. It was amazing to see.
Yeah, only young, and we've been doing it ever since.
This was probably the starting phase to State of Origin to see whether it would actually work.
Once one team's completely wiped out and the other team is still going, then they're the winner. So even if, say for example, the country team has 10 cars going, and there's no more city cars, well then those 10 cars were the ones that win.
I suppose we're ready to show the country boys what we're made of.
How do you reckon this would go with the little cars, boys?
Oh, this would be fun as hell.
Yeah.
Especially this startup though. You want to have your bloody pillar bar welded in properly there, mate?
I did for this one.
It was just bedlam out there, and then that hit is massive.
How good does that look, though?
There was some vicious hits there, though. How many cars were trying to get you there, mate? There were about 4 or 5 freaking country cars trying to rally you. And have a look at the big old valves getting pumped.
Yeah, they're a bit of a slug in the ring.
Yeah, they look amazing though. And that's what it was there
Close
for.
enough though. Can't really ask for anything different. 1-on-1 at the end. Pretty good.
Such a perfect way to end it, though.
It was. It just showed how close the teams were. Oh, Jesse, did you see his steering rack at the end of this?
A lot of things broke that stopped me from steering very well, but I kept going.
When him and Matt Moore collided, it just broke it.
The steering wheel broke off, and then it was a lot easier to steer after that.
Good hard-hitting derby, and it's what we want, and we'll be back in 2 years. I think the boys are all happy. They're already doing their celebrations. Everyone's drinking, so...
You all shake hands out here, you drive out there and drive flat out into each other, and then you shake hands and have a beer after. That's the best thing about this sport, is that what happens out there stays out there.
That's a cracker of a video, that one. I think City vs Country is one of my favourite derbies because it's fun, but it is competitive too. Like, this State of Origin is just an incredible, that's the top tier. Like, it's brutal and it's amazing to watch. But I can tell you now, I didn't want to go out there and have fun. I wanted to win.
Yeah, I think we all had the same feeling.
It's a different animal, and I'm glad that Carl's decided to come on Team New South Wales now. So it'll be fantastic. He's still going to have a maroon car, but he's definitely going to be on our team next year. What are you going to do when Kenny watches this? He still hasn't selected the team yet.
That's right, mate.
But
I have no problems with my choices.
Yeah, that's right. Like, I just want to thank you boys for coming on again tonight. Chris, I imagine you're going to be on here a fair bit anyway, so it's good to see you come back. Carl, thanks for making the effort, mate. Coming all the way down from Queensland for our little podcast. It's hopefully going to get bigger and bigger every week.
Looking forward to it.
For anyone else that enjoys the podcast, like I said, there's sponsorship opportunities to get on here. At the moment, we've got 4 people on here, so it's not a lot of area, but you can see. Nate pointed out, mate. Where's the thing? The KGH one up there.
I reckon by episode 10 we'll have this nailed, eh?
It's so much harder. So we got our sponsor, like, we've got abilities to make our sponsors known on here. So we definitely do need sponsors to be able to make this happen all the time. The association needs support to build up to what we want it to be. Like I said, we've got the state titles and stuff like that, City vs Country, State of Origin, the International Derby, and with the membership and sponsorship packages opening up prior to the next episode, you will see the leadership board open up, and that's when the true battle is going to start to see who's going to be Australian champion. I, for one, am very much looking forward to seeing who's going to be in the top 5 or 6 for that, because I have a feeling it's going to be very hard to get points up. But other than that, if anyone else is interested in learning about the world of demolition derbies or any other questions they want us to answer on the podcast, just feel free to comment on here or contact me or Nath or anyone that really has been on here. Carl, I'm sure will be able to help anyone out for the old cars, the old pedal vans and that.
Old works.
Tell us all the weak parts of the Queensland cars for next year. Now there's one of us. It's going to be great. Yeah, so I think we'll end it there, boys.
Car's always the nut behind the butt.
Well, I'll definitely be able to see you at Lowood, so you can tell me all the tips and tricks. I promise I won't let the rest of the boys know.
That's all right. You can hop in the passenger seat if you want.
I probably will when I hit you with a 380. All right, boys, we'll end it there, eh?
All right, boys. Thank you.
Have a good one.